Hey yo, what is good, y'all? I'm Malcolm McFadden, creator of 615 Comics, and you're watching the Yo and Nerd podcast. And I don't know which episode this one is gonna be. I don't know what number this is gonna be, because this isn't the normal. This isn't the normal Yo and Nerd podcast. This one is different. Okay, so as you can see, I'm not in my normal setup. You know, I got the phone straight up. I don't even got my normal microphone. I'm just talking to y'all straight to my phone. Okay, so I just thought there was a lot of things going on within the black indie comic scene that I wanted to talk about and wanted to discuss. So, what better way to do it than right here? All right. So first and foremost, before I go into anything that's going on, I'm not a person of drama. Not a person to jump into drama. Not a person to jump into beef, picking sides, all that dumb shit. That's not me. That's not me. I just think this conversation is important and needs to be had, and actually can help our community grow. You feel me? So, and I'm all about the black indie comic book community growing. So I just want to help with that. So, like I said, I'm not into any beef. I'm not in on any sides. I probably won't even be really naming names in this video. I'll just talk about the situation. But yeah, just I'm not into no drama. If that's what you're here for, you might as well just turn this video off. So, just to give the people a backstory of what happened yesterday. So there was a very big supporter in the indie black comic book scene. He supports a lot of books. He promotes those books. He does a great job of it. If you're in the scene, you know who I'm talking about. If you know the incident I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So he's a really big supporter, very important supporter of mine, and I appreciate him. I think a lot of people in the scene appreciate him. But lately he has been voicing his frustrations with certain creators and their Kickstarter campaigns. He's been voicing his frustrations on social media, sharing it in multiple groups, basically saying like, yeah, these Kickstarters I didn't get my funds back, and voicing his frustration and saying a couple things added on to that. You feel me? And then so that kind of sparked this whole thing with people also being on his side about, holding Kickstarter creators accountable and all that, and also there were people on the side of defending these creators. You feel me? So I just wanted to talk about that because I think I have um, important perspective, or it pertains to this because I am a comic book fan and creator. Of course, I'm a creator, but like I said, I was a fan before I was a creator, and I've backed over 300 Kickstarters, which is crazy. I'm putting out at least $10 to Kickstarters, and I'm back 300 of them joints. That's a lot of money. Sorry, I don't want to get sidetracked, but I have backed over 300 Kickstarters. I have also myself ran, I think, 8 or 9 Kickstarters about now. One didn't reach his goal, and the other ones were successful. So I have a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, not as much as some, but I have experience with Kickstarter, good amount of experience with Kickstarter. Okay, so I think I can give you a perspective as a fan and as a creator, and that's kind of what I want to do, to kind of bridge whatever gap is between that. So with this incident, and like I said before, this incident wasn't the only incident I've seen. I've seen this for a while with other Kickstarter campaigns, and people frustrated about those and not getting their rewards back and not getting what they backed. And I've also seen yesterday, with the whole kerbuffle happened yesterday. But today, I woke up, went on TikTok, and there was a whole nother, literally same thing but different people, in same situation but different people. Where somebody was on TikTok saying, "Hey, I backed this Kickstarter, and I still haven't got my stuff." You feel me? Um, Also, to add it, I pretty much missed this. In this situation, one of the grievances the fan had was that the creator is still selling the book on other platforms and hasn't fulfilled his Kickstarter. All right, and that was one of the grievances that he had. So, I'm sorry, I just kind of missed that point. But like I said, today I also saw another situation where somebody also was talking about a Kickstarter campaign where somebody didn't fulfill their Kickstarter, didn't get the rewards and the comics to people. All right, and all of these are black fans and black creators, so that's why I know this could be a thing that happens in the whole comic book industry. But right now, we're just really talking about the black comic book fans and black comic book creators. We're talking about that space right now, right? And so Also, to give people a little backstory, if you don't know what Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform where a lot of us creators put our books on there. We're able to get funded and get those funds and get either the book made or printed. Or made and we're able to use those funds to get the books made, and we're also get those printed and shipped. Right? Sometimes we have the books done. Some creators had the books done before it, and they just use the Kickstarter for printing and distribution. Right? So yeah, Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform, but Kickstarter also tells you that it's not a guarantee that you may get your rewards, that you may back something and you may not get your rewards, which happens from time to time. Like I said, I have backed over 300 Kickstarters, and there are times where I don't get my rewards. There's still some Kickstarters I backed years ago that I haven't got my rewards for. Also, with me backing a lot, I sometimes forget. Sometimes I forget about campaigns. So I literally go on Kickstarter sometimes and just see what's cool and kind of back it from there. I kind of use it as my comic shop sometimes. So there are times where I don't even know if I haven't got a Kickstarter back yet. There are times where I randomly get a Kickstarter that I randomly get a book on my doorstep that I backed years ago, and I randomly get it on my doorstep. And there's other times where I backed a Kickstarter a month ago and I got my book right away. Like it all depends on the creator and the campaign and the people behind it, and stuff like that. So like Kickstarter says, it's not a guarantee. So sometimes people don't get the rewards, which leads to frustrations, which is what I want to talk about. And on the fan side of things, I totally understand being frustrated. Like I said, I've had Kickstarters that there's a one that I'm waiting for my stuff back. I'm waiting for my books because I know that they're trying to fulfill it, but I'm waiting for my books. It's been a while. But yeah, it can be very frustrating, especially when you spend your hard-earned money. This is your money that you work for, that you use to help support somebody else's dream, that you believed in their dream, you believed in their book, you like their book, that you spent your money on it. You spent your hard-earned money, and then, like I said, Kickstarter, there's no guarantee. So you are kind of jumping out on the ledge. You are kind of, it is kind of a gamble in a way. And my phone's ready to die, so I'm gonna fix this real quick. Sorry, this is a real impromptu video. Okay, there we go. Phone falling. But okay, now we back. But yeah, Kickstarter is not a guarantee that you will get your funds. Like, so when we are backing these Kickstarters, when we are putting our money in support, we're jumping out on the ledge. We don't know if we're actually get our rewards, get our funds, but we're jumping on the ledge to support these people. And that can be frustrating when you're spending, especially a good amount of money, especially spending sometimes $50 to $100 on a Kickstarter campaign that you really like, especially when you want to get some of the extra covers, you want to get some of the rewards like the stickers or whatever, you want to get some of the add-ons, or maybe they got a book that you didn't back before that you want to check out. So sometimes you're spending a good amount of money on these Kickstarters, and just to not get your stuff back, that kind of seems like a slap in the face. To not get these books, like when we go to a store, when we go to the mall, let's keep it comics, we go to the comic book shop, and if we pre-order a book and then it gets to the comic shop, we're expecting that book to be there and get that book. You feel me? And it's the same thing that goes with the indie scene. Even though it's not a guarantee on Kickstarter, we are still expecting to get that book, and we should be getting that book. We put our money for that book. You should get what you paid for, especially if I'm helping support your dream. You feel me? So I totally get the frustrations as a fan. I definitely get the frustrations. You feel me? But I think as a fan, there's ways we can go about doing it. All right. Sometimes, which is the right way, which is all your perspective on what the right way is. But I think there are ways that we can go about doing it. So to use this as an example, we can of course go to the person privately if you have their contact. If you know them or you have them on social media, you can go to them privately. Just for an example, there was just today, there's a creator who I backed their Kickstarter campaign. I know this creator, and I know they're fulfilling the Kickstarter campaign. I know other people have received their books, right? But I haven't received mine yet, and I should have received it already. So I hit up that creator, DM'd him, was like, bro, just let you know, I totally forgot to tell you that I haven't received my book yet, because I realized I haven't received my book about like a week ago or so, but I had forgot to let him know, which is me. So I let him know, and then of course he's gonna work with me to do that. But that's one way you can go about it. With this incident that I'm talking about and using some of these, and actually most of these incidents, the people have tried to contact or said they've tried to contact the people, and with they didn't either get anything back or they didn't like the response they got back. And then so that which led to the social media post and posting on social media, because I mean sometimes if you feel like your voice is not being heard, you kind of go to where your voice is heard, where it can be loud, you feel me? So in social media sometimes can be a loud place, a very loud place. So that's where, you know, after you contact the person privately, you go to social media and post it on there. I think if you're going to do that, I think that can get messy, but I think good can come of that, and good has come of that in this situation. Oh, before I even go into that, when you do go on social media, I think just also being respectful, because these creators are also human at the end of the day, and I'll go into more of that when I talk about creators, but these people are human at the end of the day. I think just being respectful, when you go to social media and you start talking on people's name, you kind of talk about their reputation, you kind of start adding in their character and stuff like that, like especially when people start dogpiling or like coming on and talking about it, like that stuff can get messy. But also in this incident, one of these creators that was also called out, two of these creators were also called out. Both of them responded, I think, very professionally. They took accountability on their mishaps and what went wrong with their campaigns, and said why people weren't getting their stuff. Like they said, like big things with apologies is to say you're sorry and also give a solution. And that's what these creators did. They took accountability, said that's my fault, I was wrong, I did blase blah that led to blase blah, and that's why we are at blase blah. And then they was like, I'm sorry, and then they gave a solution. That is the perfect apology to me. And then so in this situation, one of the creators, in his apology, he also said he responded to some of the other people saying stuff, because there were people saying like, yo, you shouldn't do this on social media, you shouldn't post this, you should do this privately. One of the creators actually responded to one of those other people, responded, was like, I'm actually fine with this. I think it holds us accountable, and this is what should be done. I think that that it can be done. He said, like, because of this, you know, it holds us accountable, makes us do what we say we're gonna do, and it starts a conversation and it starts to growth, like what I'm trying to do right here with this video. And I thought that was great. I thought that was powerful. I thought like the way he handled it was great. I do think that I'm more so a person to handle things in private, especially if you know the creator, you can go to the creator. But especially if you have been and your voice hasn't been heard, I guess this is the next step. I just think you got to do it respectfully, you know, and yeah, just do it respectfully. I have nothing more to say. Just kind of do it respectfully. Remember that these people are human. But I do think that good can come from, you know, doing it publicly, because then publicly these creators had to respond and had to be held accountable in front of everybody, which sometimes can be a little, like I said, a little messy, a little kind of dark. That's not really the word that I need to, but I'm not going to spend time trying to figure out the word I need. But it can be a little messy, it can be a little uncomfortable. There we go. It could be a little uncomfortable, but best things come out of uncomfortability. Best things come out when you have to grow, when you have to try to get to a comfortable spot. You get what I'm saying? Like the best things happen. And I think these conversations that we're having is good. You feel me? But I do think maybe handling in private sometimes is the best way to go. But I want to lean to this more on the creator side of things to kind of maybe bridge that gap, because I think one thing with a lot of fans, I think a lot of y'all don't understand what goes into making comics, and the work that goes into it, and the things that could go wrong with making a comic. Now, with a Kickstarter campaign, a lot of us creators, like I said, a lot of us creators use the funds to actually get the book made. Like sometimes we have enough to like show the book and get people interested, but the funds go to getting the book made. All right, so getting the book made and then printed and then shipped. All right, so with that being said, sometimes like if your book's not done on your Kickstarter, things can happen that delay your book. Things can always happen to delay your book. And like with making a comic book, there's so many steps. But if you're just the writer and creator, like you got to get your artist to draw, you gotta get a colorist to color it, you gotta get the letterist to do the lettering, and you gotta put the book together. What's going in the book? Do you have ads in the book? Stuff like that. Where you gonna get your book printed? Like there's a lot that goes with making a comic book. A lot that I think people don't think about or even know that goes into making a comic book. Especially if you are an indie creator, creator, it's mostly just you. Like, I'm a creator, it's me. I am talking to the artists, I'm writing the stuff, I'm talking to the artists, coordinating everything. I am the CEO. I'm the principal. I'm the lunch lady. I am the trash man. You feel me? I'm the student. I'm the teacher. I'm everything. You feel me? So that's how us creators are. We are everything. So a lot of work goes into it, and then like I said, with the different phases of a comic, things could go wrong. Your artist could literally get sick. Your colorist, somebody can have a death in the family. You can get ghosted by an artist. That happens. An artist could literally just stop talking to you, and you have nothing to do. Or like your artist could get picked up by the big two, or picked up by a bigger contract. You feel me? So a lot of things can happen within comics that can cause a delay, and I think that sometimes fans don't take that in accountability, and also I think fans don't take accountability that it's just us. We are not the big two. We don't have a big machine behind us all the times, and if we make mistakes, we don't have the money to make up for those mistakes as quick as maybe DC and Marvel can. Like, sometimes the mistakes, we may not be able to fix those mistakes for a good little bit, just because we're human. We have 9 to 5 jobs. We're not part of the big company like DC and Marvel, like I said, which they make mistakes. Sometimes they can just fix it easily like that because they got the money and resources to be able to do that. Us creators, we don't always have that. We don't always have those luxuries. You feel me? And then so I think that's why we should be given a little bit of grace, but at the same time, as a creator, we got to do a better job of planning. We got to do a big thing here is communication. A big thing, I think the biggest problem with this whole situation was just poor communication on the creator side. On the creator side, yes, it's maybe poor communication on the creator side. I think that's the biggest issue. But that happens. Like I said, these people are human. Sometimes we thinking about doing so much that communicating to our backers doesn't happen. It's like we're thinking about so much, how can I actually get these people to book? How can I actually get this done? How can I do that? Where we're not thinking to, hey, these people are waiting for this. Maybe I should keep them updated on what's going on. Let them know what I'm actually working on. Sometimes we're so much in the go that we're not bringing you along with us. You get what I'm saying? So like that happens. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes creators need to be given grace, but we also do have to do a better job of communicating. And that's one thing these creators said. Both creators in this instance said, actually, all the instances I've been talking about, the creator said I need to do a better job of communicating. I need to do a better job of doing this. And one of the creators, like I said, he had one of the grievances was the creator was selling books on another site, and he actually explained why that was happening. And he even said that probably wasn't the best idea. He said I probably made a mistake on that, and so he owned up to it. Accountability. But I think just when these things happen, when delays happen, when maybe death in the family, anything that happens with these campaigns, we just gotta be vocal. We gotta communicate with our readers, because if it wasn't for the fans, us creators couldn't do this. Like if y'all not buying my books, I don't really got the money just to keep making these books just to not sell them and not have people buy them. You feel me? So like us creators, we can't keep chasing our dreams without y'all. And I think that's what we have to put y'all first. I'm not a person that says the customer's always right, because customer be dumb as hell. But the customer should come first. The customer is the reason why you're able to do what you're able to do. And I love people that support me. I take so much pride in y'all supporting me. And I think us as creators, that's what we need to take more pride in, just to put y'all first. And I'm not even saying, also with me saying these things, because sometimes they get lost in context. People could think I'm throwing shade at these creators. I'm not saying these creators are horrible communicators. Maybe they can do a better job of communicating, but what I'm saying is just for creators as a whole. It's not to throw shots at these creators, because a lot of these creators I respect, and I'm also a creator. We're in the same realm, you feel me? So I definitely want to show respect. I just want to say this as overall, so I don't want to anybody think I'm taking shots. I just had to say that real quick, because as I was talking, I thought about it, that these could seem like I'm taking shots, but no, I just think that us as creators, we gotta do a better job of communicating, better job of building trust, and just bringing our fans along with us. Like they are with us on this journey, on this comic book creating journey. And I think that sometimes we forget that we're so much in the go and the thick of it that we kind of forget that these people are along with us. We're not technically, we are alone maybe in making it, but these people are along the journey kind of with us. You get what I'm saying? So we gotta do a better job. But that happens. Like, that's why I think creators be given the grace, like especially these creators that I'm talking about that are in this situation. um they're working so much on a comic, working to get this thing done, working to get these things to people, that we just blank on the actual letting these people know what's going on. All right. And I know I said I wasn't going to name any names, but there's one a while ago that I actually wanted to use. I think it's actually a very good example about giving grace and also communication, and why I think that grace should be given. So I want to use the Epiphany engine. One of the big, if you don't know about Epiphany engines, the biggest thing that happened in indie comic books, where a whole bunch of black creators came together for this big crossover. It's a 196 page graphic novel that was, I think, a few years, 2-3 years ago was back, and that should be out right now, but it's seeing some delays and things like that. So with a project of this magnitude, a project of that is this big, and also just to give you all the backstory, there's a lot of people that have their frustrations with this project too, about how it's late. You feel me? They have been communicating, giving updates, but not as many updates as people would have liked. People would like more updates. Me personally, I think they've given a good amount of updates, but we'll talk about that in a second. But people have their frustrations with the Epiphany engine, and I think this is I want to use this example because I think this is a one where fans can show grace and also show that communication on the other side. So I think this one deserves grace. I think fans don't understand that how hard it is to put out a 24 page comic, just itself 24 pages, and just have one singular art team. This is a 96 page graphic novel that has multiple writers, multiple artists working on this, a big crossover. So I think that a lot goes into that, and this is history. This is literally history in the making. When this book comes out, you'll be holding history. So a lot goes into making that, and I think that that's why this project definitely should be given grace, because it's history in the making. I know the frustrations for it, but this is something very big, and I think people don't understand how much actually goes into it. And sometimes, like when you have artists that get some, like I said, they can get picked up by the big two. They can have a death in the family. They can get sick. You feel me? They could die themselves. Like, you feel me? Like, things could happen that cause delays. And with that project, there has been things that happened to cause the delays. And then I think the people of the Epiphany engine have done maybe not a great job, but a okay job of giving updates and telling people what's going on and why the book's being delayed. I just think some people may want a little bit more updates, but I think that they're still giving updates. They're still letting you know what's going on, and I think that that's where the grace can be given. I think that's where we can show. I just want to use that example because I think this is a time where we can, as fans, show grace and to a creator who's actually really trying and actually trying to put out their stuff, and who's actually giving updates, maybe not as much as we want. That's why I said the grace part, giving the grace, but also on the creator side, just to how they are working to get things done to us, get these books, get things done so it's given to us. Sorry, I talk fast sometimes, but also that they maybe could do a little bit more communicating. Like, I think this is a time where on both sides where this is a good example to show the growth that can happen on both sides. All right, and I think this is a good conversation. I think it's something that needs to be had because we're in this black indie space, and a lot of talk about black indie comics, and a lot of us need Kickstarter to push our stuff. And I think this is actually a conversation to get people more familiar with Kickstarter, so that more people back campaigns on Kickstarter. So I think this is this growing moment. I think this is a time where we can use this to spread knowledge, to help each other grow, and also to talk more about black indie comic books. You feel me? So as fans and creators, so I think a lot happened yesterday. A lot happened, but I think once the smoke blows over, I think that this could be something that we grow from. Once the rain stops, I think we're going to start seeing the seeds grow. You feel me? So I hope that this video helps further along this conversation about fans and creators and bridging that gap. I hope that it gives you a little bit of insight on what us as creators have to go through, and hopes gives other creators insight on why people are frustrated. I really don't think that I need to tell the creators why people are frustrated, because I think they understand. I think they understand just as a creator and as a consumer of other things. I think they understand. But I think this is a big conversation that needs to be had and needs to be talked about, and I think that we can move up from this, and not just move linear, like just going nowhere at all, like a treadmill. Like I think we can actually move on from this. So I think it's a good conversation that's going to continue, and please comment on this video. Let me know what y'all think. What are y'all thoughts on everything? Let's talk about it. Let's start an open dialogue, you feel me? If you make a video, respond to my video, you feel me? Let's make some content that can actually help people, and that's not just stupid ass content. So yeah, that is all I really got for y'all for this episode of Yo a Nerd. Thank y'all for watching, and continue to watch. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, thank y'all. Peace.